A big hello and a warm welcome to all of you amazing and beautiful people out there. Welcome to my channel, the Twinflame Union. And this is such an interesting session. This is going to be a uh, very, it's a fun session. That's all I can say because I have been coming across a lot of people in the twin flame community, or say the star seed community, or the inner work community, the light workers, who tell me, I was bullied as a child, I was judged as a child, I had to go through this and I had to go through that, and still I decided now to do inner work, and I decide to believe in one love, I decide to do this and I decide to do that, I want to be a better person. But there are so many people who are so judgmental towards other people. They pass on very strong judgments on other people, and these judgments are not based on real or fake perceptions. These are not based on reptilian behavior, or you can say, divine behavior, or this perception is not based on mental health or doing good for the people. These judgments are based on very basic things like caste, color, creed, skin color, hair color, body size, body weight, nationality. And you can imagine, in the twin flame community, many people are actually suffering and they are victims of the same problem, because of which they are going through separation. And yet I see so many people who are doing the same thing. They are projecting the same behavior, knowingly or unknowingly. To be honest, I have been a bit skeptical about sharing these type of messages in the past also, because at first it felt like, it is a personal message, because there are so many positive messages, uplifting messages, loving, kind messages, and there are also messages of recommendation, there are also comments. So there are so many positive messages, and sometimes I feel, on a personal level, the negative messages cannot stop me. The messages cannot pull me down for such a long time. I'll still do what I want to do. I will continue to do this work. In fact, even on the email, sometimes I get very negative one-off messages, or sometimes, there is a negative experience that happens where people just want to hear very pleasing messages, and when they are given some upfront, real information, they feel very bad about it. So what can we do? I mean, this is a part of life. Negativity will be thrown at us, and as a starseed, twin flame, ascensioner, whatever label you want to put, it doesn't matter, but you're simply here to grow and progress, so that you are out of the trap of life and death. You're out of the trap of Maya, right? So I have been ignoring these messages for a long time, and I have also thanked a lot of people, all of you people who are extremely progressive in your thinking. But what I feel is that there was a time, when these type of words and these type of negative energy used to put me in a dark night, and that has happened, right? And it happens to a lot of people out here. So I honestly feel that maybe it can be a subtle dark night phase for 5 minutes, maybe for 2 minutes, and I can just give a strong message, a strong answer, and they can go. But then even for those 5 minutes, sometimes I feel that maybe this is happening for a reason. Maybe I should speak about it. Maybe I should tell everybody that if you come across these type of messages, because a lot of you could be going through these confusions, difficulties, and judgments from other people, for choosing to be authentic. You're not following a trend. You're not trying to be likable. You're not forcing yourself to be likable anymore. And if you have genuinely surrendered, if you genuinely believe in the hukum rajai chalna, nanak likhya naal, if you really believe in the hukum, because surrender is literally a word that we need to understand very deeply. Surrender means surrender to what? Surrender to what is happening around you. Surrender to the realistic experiences that you have, not the fantasy. Because when you don't get something, or when you get something, like in the twin flame journey, a lot of people are confused because they are wishing or desiring for something so bad, but they don't have it. So what you don't have and what you have, you need to accept it. If you're not going to accept it, you're not actually accepting, you're not surrendering, you're not acknowledging, you will continue to live in fantasy, which will give you a lot of pain. Okay? It is not for everyone, but we must all listen to this because, Earth is not one country or one nation or one nationality. Earth is a diversity. Earth is a combination of so many different types of people and so many different types of understandings, How you reach one love, how you understand love, there are many paths to it. So we need to always remember that no one can teach us hatred. We have experienced hatred, haven't we? We have suffered. Some of us, a lot of us are going through very dark phase of separation, or if they don't go through a strong dark night right now, but they have gone through it. And at the same time, there are days when you go through subtle dark night emotions. Because of these factors that tell you that you are different and that is a problem, okay? You are old and that is a problem. You are young and that is a problem. You are dark skinned, so that is a problem. Or you are fair skinned, so that is a problem. You are yellow colored, so that's a problem. So many of these things, about your weight. I've had a lot of difficulty in trying to figure out what exactly is the right kind of weight. So what my understanding is that if you are living a healthy life, if you are not eating too many pills or tablets or medicines, you are not on tranquilizers, you don't sleep too much all the time, you're not tired, you're not lethargic, and you are fit basically, then whatever body you have is fine. Who is the person that came up with the idea that a certain type of figure is the best figure or a certain type of height is the best height? Like, I know some people who are extremely fascinated by tall height. And I'm like, why? Just because models are supposed to be tall, 5'11", 6, 6'2", 6 whatever. So who makes these concepts like short people are not good enough, tall people are good enough, or thin people are good enough, chubby people are not good enough? I mean, since 2020, I've been trying to put on weight because all my life I was very thin and skinny. But I was like, why do I always have to be thin and skinny? Like, who decides that I'm good or bad if I'm skinny or I'm not skinny? Okay. So interestingly, my friends, I'm sure you can resonate with this. And personally, I feel that I've also had to work on myself to remove these judgments, because when you're raised in narcissistic patterns, when you're raised in these superiority, inferiority based complexes as a child, you also develop certain qualities where you judge other people. So many divine feminines, they have a problem with karmic. Why they have a problem with karmic? It is not the karmic who is really the enemy, but it is the image that the karmic carries very confidently that becomes a problem. Because she may be very proud of herself, she may be very comfortable in her skin, she may be really hands-on with the masculine, she may be like the very attractive person for the masculine, and at the same time she may be possessing certain bodily features that, or physical features that the feminine does not have. Or you can say that she triggers the feminine to think and to feel that you are not good enough for the masculine. For this man, you're not good enough. I am, because I love myself. My family loves me. It could be anything. Maybe she is a very slim, petite person, very thin body, or she could be a curvy woman with a big ass, with a big bust, or the opposite of it. She could have blue eyes and you have black or brown eyes, or she could have blue or brown eyes and you have some other eye color, green or something, which you not like. Or maybe you have freckles on your face and she does not, or she has freckles and you don't, or there is something about her that triggers you. But actually it is not the physical feature that triggers you. It is literally the complex emotion that you're going through in terms of accepting who you are the way you are. Now, why am I coming to these conclusions? I have spoken about this before also, in the past also. But very recently, I got my hair color changed to blonde. Okay. Coloring my hair has been a really, since teenage I am doing this. Actually, the first time, not even teenage, when we were very young, when we were little kids, girls or women in our family, and girls also, the other girls, the sisters, the elder sisters and the family women, they used to apply henna on their hair, okay, which used to give a reddish tint, and I think it's also good for the hair. They put some other herbs into it, and they keep it overnight, and then in the morning the color is like really reddish, and then they apply it and they keep it in their hair. It's for 6-7 hours or 5 hours, I don't know, and then they wash it. So we have also done that. We used to also sit along in the queue and we would say, do it to us. So for me, really, coloring my hair has never been a thing which has to do with age, or which has to do with hiding your grays or anything. In fact, when I was in Mumbai, it was a new thing that I learned. There were 2 boys in my building. They were probably just 8 or 9 years old, and they had grey hair, like literally proper grey hair. And they were very embarrassed because they were bullied by other boys in the building, because of which they became bullies too. Like every time they went through this bullying, they decided to bully other people back. So I just asked them one day, like, why are you so angry, so aggressive? So he said that because everyone is mean to me, and that's why I have to be mean too. So now what happened is that when I colored my hair, I have not made any announcement that, guys, I'm coloring my hair. This is my YouTube channel. This is where I share about twin flames. But I don't think this twin flame journey is very away from these problems that people see in other people when they come across, or they do some kind of a change, or they do some kind of a activity which is related to their lifestyle. So couple of people wrote to me, and 2 of them or 3 of them at least wrote some very mean comments to me. One of them wrote to me that, oh, your hair looks like you've burnt it. So at first even I was joking. I said, yeah, I burnt my hair. But then that person took it a little bit too far and crossed their boundary and started writing a lot of garbage to me. That things like, you look like you live on the planet Pluto, and blah blah blah, and this and that. And I was just going through this person's ID, and I read the ID as Shiva Shakti. Now some of you have probably heard my stories on the original twin flames, the cardinal twin flames, Ram, Sita, Shiv, Shakti and Radha Krishna. So when we listen to the stories of gods and goddesses, what we are actually trying to understand is that they went through similar problems actually, or really, the same problems that we go through on a daily basis. But, you can say they were more hardened, or they were more, higher in percentage, basically. So you may not know this, some of you, and some of you might know this, but Shiva had a very different personality. He used to live alone. He had a hermit personality since childhood. He preferred his solitude. He wore animal skin. So whenever some animal used to die in the jungle, he used to pick up that skin and wear it, because animal skin is warm and it is good for, he felt good about it, so he wore it. Simple as that. Whether we have any scientific or health benefits or not, that is a different thing, but he wanted to wear it, so he wore it. A lot of rishis also do that. They wear the deer skin or tiger skin whenever they find it. Then he had dreadlocks, and he used to smear some ash on his body, and he used to hang out with a bull. The bull was his best friend actually. And when you are a high frequency person, when you go within so much, you can communicate with animals very easily. So Shiva used to like the company of animals, and he was always surrounded by animals, which is why he was called Pashupatinath, the lord of animals. So he lived in nature, he lived alone, he wore slightly different clothes, and he had dreadlocks, very long dreadlocks. In fact, the culture, the Rastafarians have dreadlocks too. But I think he was the oldest, you can say, a cardinal being who used to hang out with so many dreadlocks. Usually, if you look at other gods and goddesses, they don't have an image like Shiva, okay? So, a lot of twin flames, they look at Shiva Parvati and they want a union like Shiva Parvati, because their union is such a beautiful, perfect union. But many people don't know that when Shiva got married the first time to Sati, Parvati was his second wife. She was reincarnation of Sati. But when he was born to Sati, there were many people, including the father of Sati, who used to make fun of Shiva literally for everything. Shiva was also a god who loved dancing a lot. So being a man, he loved dancing. And I don't think, dancing is a man or a woman thing, but Shiva had many of these qualities which had a huge amount of nurturer in him. He had those feminine qualities like nurturing animals, living alone, being by himself, and as I said, dancing and singing. He used to carry his instrument everywhere he used to go, and he used to play the instrument sometimes, and he used to dance on the beats of the instrument. It's called damru, okay? So, the first time when Sati jumped into fire, that's because his father, her father, Sati's father, and Shiva's father-in-law used to make fun of Shiva all the time. So much so that he used to always put him down in front of the other gods and goddesses, while the other gods and goddesses used to pray to Shiva. Like Shiva was called Devo Ke Dev, which means he was one of the highest deity, highest god. So, but her own father, imagine, her own father used to constantly make fun of him, and he excluded him from many family affairs because he was embarrassed of Shiva. He would always say that he is an embarrassment. His image is an embarrassment. He wanted probably a son-in-law who had a fancy image, who looked like everybody else, who wore fancy clothes, good clothes, and, put his hair nicely, short hair, cut it or whatever. He did not like the way Shiva lived. It became too much. This problem became too much that one fine day, Sati could not take it anymore. She jumped into the fire. She created her own fire. She was also a very powerful goddess. So you can't say it was committing suicide, but she basically said to the father only that, you know what, I will come back to Shiva. This is not the right time for me to live with my Shiva, my husband, who I love the most. Okay? And you keep making fun of him. You keep looking at him as he is an embarrassment. You keep, telling me that he is not good and this is bad about him, that is bad about him. But these are things that are from his, it's his basic nature to be whatever he wants to be. Okay. So I am going to end this life and I will be reborn again, and I will be born to a family, to a father and to a mother who are loving and understanding and who support me in my choices. Okay. It's not that in the next life also it was very easy for her, because again she carried that template in her and she had to work it out somehow. She had to do inner work, but her father was a better person than this one. Okay. And later when Shiva found out about this arrogance and this behavior which led to the death of his wife, like he lost his wife. He had asked his wife not to go to that party or to that function where, they were not invited. But she was like, no, I want to go there because it's my father who's throwing this big party, big event is happening, big yajna is happening. So I need to go there. I need to see why he has not invited you, why he has not invited us, why he is excluding us all the time, why he treats us so badly. So Shiva says, okay, but if he has not invited you, then don't go, it's all right. But she says, no, I have to go. So Shiva says, okay, fine. But later on he finds out that she has already perished herself into fire. So he's in so much pain. He's so upset. He's like, oh my God, it's me. Maybe it's because of me. So many years then after that, Shiva was doing inner work. He was in so much pain to lose a loving wife. Like in Twin Flames, a lot of people are struggling because the twin flame itself is like that. Twin flame itself is judgmental or cannot accept you the way you are, cannot figure out who you are. Your twin flame, as in I'm talking about the mirror. Technically, as I've told you already, that you are the twin flame. And then you have a perfect mirror or an exact mirror, and some people keep meeting these different people in the form of karmics and false twins till the time they do not attract the right one. And in some people's case, the same person needs to go through a process of purification so that they can understand that these differences are actually just natural qualities, they just come from a person. So after that, Shiva cut the head of that person, Daksh Prajapati, the father-in-law. And later on, everybody was like, please forgive him. If you're still not dead, sometimes people don't die even after you cut their head. So please forgive him. He's not dead yet. He will never do it again. And he's understood his lesson. He was quite judgmental. And and judging is not a bad quality. Personally, I don't feel that we should not be judgmental. Sometimes we need to have a fair judgment on things. And we need to judge things in terms of fake and authentic also. But being judgmental all the time thinking that you are good, but others are bad, that is a wrong type of judgment that people carry. So then after that, Shiva forgave him and then gave him a goat head. Like being an animal lover, you can't expect Shiva to give him back his head, and that was not even possible. So he gave him a goat head and he left from there, and then he did a lot of inner work for many years. Then Parvati was born because of that inner work. Actually, Parvati's birth happened when Shiva did inner work for a couple of years. So they had age difference as well. So earlier when he was with Sati, they were matching in the terms of age and all. But when Parvati was born, people persuaded her to not go for him because they said, there is an age difference. You are so young and look at him and blah, blah, blah. So they had to actually face so many of these issues to finally be in a proper union where they accepted each other. Some people tell me that union is about marriage and union is about engagement, but I don't think so. Personally, I feel union is about accepting a person completely and acknowledging that and appreciating that, yes, this person who I am so fond of, this person is like this. They have these certain qualities and they have these certain things in them. So I'm not getting into the next part of the story because this much is what I want to share. But imagine a person who has an ID called Shiva and Shakti. They should know this story, right? You are just putting out Shiva and Shakti and you're just putting a picture over there because you want a union like Shiva and Shakti. But you don't know what Shiva and Shakti went through because so many people judged him for the way he was. It was very painful for him. He did a lot of inner work to get rid of those negative triggering feelings, and then she was born and then he was not accepting her. He straight away rejected her because he was thinking that, I don't want the same story to repeat again. Why don't you go and find a normal looking man? Why don't you go and find someone who's not like me? I'm a hermit, please understand. I like to live like this. I like to do what I, enjoy doing, and this is who I am. But she was like, you know what? No. Because she knew him. She was the one who recognized him first. He recognized her much later after she did a lot of inner work. So recognition, some people think recognition is the first stage of twin flame journey. Actually, that could be from the perspective of a twin flame. Parvati was the twin flame. Okay, Shiva was already born as a god, goddess, energy. He was already an ascended one. He was a star seed. Okay, but Parvati was born as a human being. She was the one who was a EBE, extraterrestrial biological entity, an extraterrestrial star seed born through biological process. So she was the one who was the twin flame who had to do the work and to be able to match to his energy again, because she was the one who decided not to be in that body, in the previous life, because of all the differences and because of all the torture she had to go through from her own parents, her father especially. She had to heal the masculine wounded template within her because her father never really loved her for real. He was so egotistical, he was such a narcissistic that he only used to think that he is right and everybody is wrong. Everyone should praise him and everyone should please him. When the daughter did not please him, when the daughter did not do things that were in accordance or, in tandem with his image, his public image or social image as a king, he got very upset about it. And he started taking revenge from her own daughter. He started torturing her own daughter emotionally and mentally by excluding her from functions, from excluding her, from all these activities, or by constantly bad mouthing her husband and constantly saying her husband is this. So she was like, you are not making fun of my husband. You are not talking meanly about my husband. You are talking about my husband, so it hurts me as well because I love him, because he is a pure soul. Okay. Now, so there are people who have these Shiva Shakti photographs and they think that they are twin flames, and these are the same people who are judging others. So I am literally a reader here, or a content creator, an author about the same subject. I am working on this subject for last more than, you can say, since 2009 I've been doing this work. So many years have gone into it, and I hope to get deeper into this subject, because this subject is quite deep and very interesting for myself. I don't know about others. This person is making fun of my blonde hair color. This person is literally writing to me. If it was a normal person, I would not have said anything. But you are having an ID of Shiva Shakti. How can you, call yourself a follower of Shiva Shakti, or somebody who believes in the twin flame energy, the masculine and feminine polar energy who comes into balance and forms a union? How can you use that picture, use that image, and not do what they would have been like, do the opposite actually? Literally, this person is doing the opposite, making fun of my hair color. Like, literally. I was like, really, dude, do you think you making fun of my hair color is going to stop me from coloring it? Like, I can do it whatever, whenever, It's my head and it's my choice. I can color them blue, pink, brown, green, whatever. It's none of anybody's business. People should just focus on their hair and their business. And I would not have brought up this subject, guys. I would not have spoken about it, because in the past few weeks, I have been figuring this out, not just from my perspective. Even, we changed the hair color of one of my cousin, and she was very scared. She really loved it. She really, was like, oh my God, I totally love this. And I'm so, happy with it, because I think it's a very childlike thing to do. If you are not doing because you are embarrassed, like I know a lot of people in my personal relationships and also otherwise, and there's one family friend of ours who even has a business into this. There are a lot of people who color their hair black, in India especially. After they start seeing gray hair in their head, they want to color it black because they are very embarrassed of it. They're very embarrassed of their hair color, the white gray color, and they feel like, okay, now everyone is going to say that I'm going old and I'm not young anymore and I'm not youthful anymore. Basically it's my time. My time is up, my time is over. So let me just color my hair black and just let me just not reveal it, not reveal to the other people. But I don't think it has got anything to do with age, because I know a lot of people who are literally in their 20s and they have grey color. And I was shocked because when I was 15 years old, I was living in a hostel full of girls. There was a girl who was probably 2 or 3 years elder to me, but she had a head full of grey color. She must be in her teenage, But that was a problem. It was because of hormonal things, or it was because of whatever XYZ reason. And she was really bold enough to not color it. She used to keep it just like that. So just in the middle of her head, you could see 2 thick strips of white grey hair. But she did not color them, and she was quite happy with the way it was. And she was like, I don't give a rat's ass. So I was like, wow, that is a cool thing. Like, that is a bold thing. Later on, she colored her hair blonde or something, or, some other highlighting. But that was because she wanted to experiment with herself and she wanted to express herself through that color. Okay. Similarly, we have clothes, and similarly, we have other things. So we don't have to be embarrassed of who we are. We don't have to feel scared of not getting accepted. When you think that in your twin flame journey, you're not getting accepted because of whatever reason, your partner or your, according to you, it's your divine counterpart, but if they've run away from you, they are not in contact with you, I think you should just forget about them. Because when you forget about them, it actually sends out a very strong message, because we communicate intuitively as well, okay? They could be blocking you on the phone, on the messages, on the email, wherever, but you need to learn to block them because they are not ready for you, okay? If I'm dating someone right now and he tells me, why did you color your hair? Why did you do this? I would not talk to him, to be very honest. Yes, if he tells me in another way, like, is it going to damage your hair? Is it going to spoil your hair? I hope the color is ammonia free. I hope it's like this. Then I would be like, yeah, I mean, he's taking care of me and he's nice and loving to me. It's all right. But if he tells me, why would you do this? Why did you do it? Oh my God, you look so weird. I don't want to hang out with you. Then I would not want to see that person again. And I would be very happy and very thankful to universe to actually put me in that situation. And this is not an extreme thing. This is not an extreme thing. Like, if I don't consume alcohol, and a lot of you must have been in that phase where you quit alcohol suddenly. One fine day you didn't feel like having alcohol. Just like one fine day you wanted to eat healthy food. And I know this again from personal experience, that when you shift energetically, automatically it happens that you throw away the old things. Your house becomes very clean. You change the colors of your house. You make it very comfortable, cozy. You start growing a lot of plants. You suddenly have a connection with the animals. You can't eat junk food. You might just have a pizza here and there once or twice. It's okay. But you can't literally have junk food all the time. Or you can't even be around people who have this type of dense, intense energy, because the moment they are there around you, you feel that heaviness. You don't want to get projected on by those people, That is one thing. So this is one thing which I want to share with everyone, that if you are calling yourself twin flame, if you follow the cardinal twin flames, Ram and Sita, Radha and Krishna, and Shiva Shakti, then follow their path of love and acceptance, okay? This is about the judgment on somebody's hair color. Now there is a judgment on, another judgment comes to me on Western and Eastern, okay? Hindu and Hinduism related judgment came to me, where someone literally wrote to me that, I have seen some of your videos and I have received a lot of knowledge, blah, blah, blah. But this foreign color, this was literally the word Angrezi color. Angrezi means English. This foreign color and, making a kiss, sending a flying kiss, this is really something which I am against, and I am criticizing it so much. I criticize this a lot. And this type of love for the Western culture, for materialism, you have such a horrible mentality. This is what this person wrote me. You have a horrible negative mentality. You're a negative person. You're a bad person. All of that he's putting it on me just because I colored my hair blonde. So my friends, I want to say this, and I don't know why these Indian people are doing it more. Indian people are doing it more because some of the Indian people think that they know a lot about Indian culture. They know a lot about morality. They know a lot about, humanity and spirituality. But sorry to say, if you think that Western culture or people who are coming from the West are horrible, yes, I have spoken about how the reptilians, people who were led by reptilians, extraterrestrials from the British rule, the ones who colonized, they colonized the whole world, and many people are still under modern slavery, but that is an energy. Guys, that is an energy of slavery that those people are creating. That does not mean that all people who live in England or the UK are reptilians. and all of them are bad, and all the Americans or the Australians are bad, because these good and bad people exist everywhere. It's not just limited to boundaries. Good and bad energies, evil and divine energies, these are energies that can exist in anybody. Okay, so why am I talking about this is because you call yourself a twin flame and you think you're a spiritual person, but you can't be a spiritual person if you are coming to a person's channel, you are taking all the good things from them for free. You're coming here, you're listening to their messages, and you also writing that I have received a lot of knowledge from you in the past. But just because you have colored your hair blonde, and just because you are posing in a certain pose, I think that you're a horrible person. This is exactly what he wrote. You're a horrible person. You're a bad person, and I criticize you so much. When someone writes these type of things, I recently started a Hindi channel because I have not been doing Hindi messages. This was the reason, because when I was growing up, I faced a lot of criticism from people who are typical Indians, because I have a combination lifestyle. I am half Nepalese and a half Indian. Okay, so as a Nepalese, a child of a Nepalese mother, I have been thrown this criticism and judgment. Oh, you're Nepali, oh, you're this, oh, you're that. At the same time, when I'm half Punjabi. But when I would go to Nepal, then they would call me a person who has the Indian origin. So you are inferior to us because your father is an Indian. So as a child, it has been a very painful place to be in, where you are constantly criticized only because of your nationality, only because of the blood you have. And you obviously don't know anything about it, because I did not know that my mother would be Nepalese or my father would be Indian, and I have family members who are settled abroad as well. So why as a child you are going through this? Because this is a societal flaw where we judge people, and at the same time then you meet people who are, when I started doing inner work, of course, I met a lot of people who are very enamored by this, Indian thing or this Nepalese thing, because I traveled in India a lot, and I traveled to a lot of hippie places in Nepal. So that's where I met a lot of people who were coming from the Western world, and I saw that they have so much love and appreciation for people from this country. They were like so awestruck with Nepal as a land, and so gratitude, full of gratitude for Indian scriptures and literature. I did not see that kind of gratitude coming from Indians themselves. Okay. And at the same time, there are so many Indians like me who have been raised in, you can say, almost a Western culture, because we went to Indian English medium schools. We got English education. We speak English since childhood. When we went to school, we were 3 or 4 years old. Ever since we went to school, we started, learning English language. And literally for a lot of us, English is our first language. We may be using Hindi or other regional languages at home, but outside with friends or, in general, no matter what accent we have, because we all have different accents, we speak a lot in English, okay? We watch a lot of English content online. In fact, India is one of the highest content consumer in the world because of the population. So this is not our fault that we are raised in a culture. We are raised by people who are born in a certain time and era where certain things in the society is happening. Okay, my problem with all those Indians who have a problem with my hair color, I don't know why, it's my hair color and it's my choice, it's my head after all. But if you are judging me because I chose something which apparently to you looks like it's from the Western culture, then I need to say this, that you're definitely not a spiritual person, and you definitely are not somebody who is a potential twin flame also. Or if you think for sure you're a twin flame, then you need to work a lot on yourself, because you have this very narcissistic, very superiority complex laden image of yourself, that just because you're Indian and just because you're born in this land, you are above other people. But let me tell you, as I started this subject, this topic, that is not true, because the earth, Mother Earth, we are from earth. We are not from India, America, Australia or UK or whatever, we are from Earth, okay? And the whole Earth is our mother, and all the people on this planet Earth, we are all one people. That's why I keep saying one love and peace out, one love and peace out. I don't know how many people really get that message. One love means that we are all one. We're all one energy, we're all one family, and we are basically here to learn our lessons. And Earth is a school. That's all that Earth is. Earth is a school. When you die, people who die, you could again be reborn in any country. You could get reincarnation in any land, depending on the frequency that you're in and depending on the lessons you want to learn next time. It's all about learning lessons. A lot of people ask me, why do we keep coming again and again? We come again and again because we want to learn lessons. That's it. And it's very enjoyable for a soul to learn lessons. And why Twin Flame journey is so important for people? Because this is literally like the final stop. Like after this, you are not going to learn so many lessons. You are literally, headed to a dimension where you would probably learn other lessons, but not the earth related, all these lessons which create such a divide in a person's mind. As a twin flame, you are literally born on this planet to create a lifestyle which is devoid of these issues, devoid of this type of mentality. So whosoever it is, and anybody who thinks like this, please understand, be it India or the West, we are born in a time and era that we are supposed to take the good of both the worlds, Eastern and Western. If Indian people are wearing jeans, t-shirt, pants, dresses, then they cannot tell me or anyone like me that your hair color is blonde, so you are a Western person, because you yourself have adopted a Western lifestyle by going to English medium schools, knowingly or unknowingly, doesn't matter. But now that you're born in this time and era, because this is what it is, even Gita says, Bhagavad Gita says that parivartan hi sansar ka niyam hai, change is the only constant thing. So how can you live in the past, such a long time back? Either you should completely be like that, you should wear dhoti kurta only. So my point is towards this person. I know some of you could be saying that, this person was mean to you. Why are you sharing this with all of us? This person individually was mean to you. We are not mean to you. We love you, or if you don't love me also, we acknowledge you. Because the reason why I'm sharing this with you all is that if somebody can write this to me, I'm sure there are people, and this is not one person writing this to me. There are more people writing this to me. No, this is the reason why I did not make Hindi content in the past, because I was very much judged by people from my own country a lot of times. So it used to really hurt my emotions. But then I realized that it is Ramayana that I love, it is Mahabharata that I love, it is the Vedas that I love so much, it is the Upanishads that I love so much. And there are so many people like me on this planet, in this land right now, who are going through these judgments, because it's not their fault that they are born in families, or they are born in a time and era which is a combination era. We belong, and that's why when I see people putting on hatred against another religion, like, this religion is bad, the Muslims are bad, or the Christians are bad, or this is bad, I don't think they are individually bad or good, and by saying that they are bad or good, we ourselves are becoming bad, So these differences, the Western, even in the West, I'm sure, because the countries like UK and US are very big countries, like huge countries, very big lands. So they also have many states, and all those states have different dialects, different hair colors. In fact, it was very interesting. When I was traveling in Nepal, a lot of people thought that I was Mexican. So they used to keep calling me, one girl used to call me Maria. I don't know why she used to call me Maria. And some of the people used to think I am a Latin person of a Latin descent. And there too, I remember I colored my hair, and then nobody, like even the Nepalese and Indians, they would not recognize me. They would think that I'm a foreigner, and they would start talking in English with me. And then I would tell them, hey, I am from here only. I'm also a traveler, but I know Hindi and I know Nepalese pretty well. So that used to be hilarious. So let me tell you, and this is my reply to that person, but I'm sharing this to all the people who listen to it. I don't know how many people will listen to it. 400, 500, 1,000, 2,000, 5,000. I don't know. 500. I don't know. And I don't care. But we need to listen to this, all of us. Okay. this mobile phone that you have, the laptop that you have, the televisions that you have, there are many gadgets that we have. These have all come from the Western culture, because these inventions first happened in the Western culture, okay? Secondly, I don't understand this problem that, and this is not for three-dimensional people, guys. I've been talking about asexual love and sexual love. So this guy is writing to me literally that the kissing pose that you made, I don't know which picture is he talking about. Like, what the hell is wrong with this man? I posted 4-5 pictures holding my ascension cards. These are my new cards. I put out a caption and he's writing to me that this kissing posture that you made, it is disgusting. Okay, so what is this kissing posture that he's talking about? Like, is he blind or is he crazy or what is it? And if someone has a natural pout, what can I do? I am born like that. I have a natural pout, okay? I can't help it. In fact, I was literally scolded, or I used to get bullied for having a pout, because in my country, and this selfie culture just recently came, guys, but when we were kids, my mother used to tell me that all of you 3 kids, all my 3 children have this pout. And my father used to have a pout. So we got it from him. So just relax. These is my physical feature. Okay. This is my natural feature. This is how my lips are. Even if I'm not pouting in some pictures, it looks like pouting. Okay. So this man, whosoever it is, and anybody who is like this, please do not be on this channel. I don't want people like you on my channel. And you can unsubscribe and you can stop viewing it, because I don't want people who use the content and then judge the person who creates the content and then wants to be in Twinflame union. Sorry, how can you get into a union when you think like this? I'm sure you must be judging all the people you fall in love with constantly, and you must be harrowing them with your judgmental vibes constantly. Okay, so I told this man that, even if I'm making a pout, what is your problem in that? It is my life. It is my wish. I can do whatever I feel like doing. Has your mother never kissed you on your forehead? Have you never kissed a child or an animal or a pet lovingly? The problem is that if somebody has a negative mentality, if has a low frequency energy, then they are going to look at everything with the point of view of perversion. So this is the difference that we need to understand between lust and love as well. That when you are lustful, you're going to kiss people, you're going to hug people, you're going to make out with them, but that would only be because you're lustful towards them, because you're horny, not because you love them, not because you really want to cuddle them, not because you really want to hug them, not because you really want to kiss them. Your hugs and kisses are going to be, of negative mentality, You're looking at them like a sexual object. It's your fault and it's your problem, But if you're not like that, then you also need to remove that guilt, There are some couples who are very asexual couples, because what is asexuality? Not wanting to have intercourse, okay? And obviously when you grow a lot in your ascension journey, you realize that this whole having an intercourse, constantly wanting to have sex, this comes from lustful energies. Because when you start loving someone, it's not an addiction. Sex is no longer an addiction for people. It is simply, if it happens, it happens. And when it happens, it's 2 people participating in a certain activity together. And they would make sure that both people are on the same page, okay? But I have personally noticed this. A lot of people turn to celibacy, or a lot of people turn into asexual lifestyle, because they feel that these activities are nothing but lustful or disrespectful activities, Men wanting women to go down on them, and watching a lot of porn where there is gangbang happening, 1 woman, 4 men, 5 men, or the opposite, or I don't know. I watch a lot of this type of content if it comes to my way, where they're sensationalizing the sexual act, but they are not talking about the loving behavior, So if these people have a problem with someone making a pout, or, which that has not even been done. And if you go on my personal page, I can do anything on my personal page. It's up to me what type of content I want to share. If you have a problem with me on my content, then as I said, please don't be here. Okay, I do a lot of hard work to create this content every single day. I study a lot, I research a lot. It has been many years of research that have gone into making this content. And if you want a typical looking teacher or a typical looking therapist who wears a white coat and carries a stethoscope and gives you some pills then please don't be here, because that's not gonna happen here. And I'm not gonna put, like 1 vermilion on my forehead and wear all those godly clothes and, be like, yes, I'm the guru, I'm the one. No, that's not happening over here. In fact, I don't like all these things, because when I got molested as a child, the molester had a very spiritual image, guys. Not even spiritual, a very religious image. That person was probably one of the most religious person I knew in my childhood. And everybody respected that person. Everybody was like, wow about that person. And that person used to chant, used to play instruments in the temple, do all the rituals and ritualistic activities every morning. Wake up every morning and go to the temple and sing songs in the praise of God. And then actually he was a pedophile. Actually he was a child molester. And that is something that only I knew. Okay? The adults did not know that. I knew that. And it came to me as the most heartbreaking shock. I was betrayed. And you know what? This is a big reason why I stayed away from spiritual practices for many years. As in my teenage years especially. I was initiated when I was 11. I met my master, and thanks to my master that I could actually figure out what is fake and what is not real. I could figure out what is authentic, because he actually had the vibes of a real person. But when this pedophile molester used to be around me, I used to be full of fear. I used to be so scared to be around him. I used to hate his energy. I used to hate the way he used to look at me, the way he used to stare at me, the way he was trying to groom me, and the way he was trying to groom my parents. He was constantly grooming my parents, and he was telling my parents that your child is a very bad child and she's going to do a lot of bad things to you. And I was just 10 years old, 9 years old maybe. So one fine day my father confronted him and asked him that, why do you speak so badly about my child? What has she done to you? And he got really petrified. He's like, no, my father said she's very good in her studies. She's obedient. She's an obedient child. She's doing helping the mother with all the housework. But you keep pointing fingers at my child. What has my daughter done to you? So he would say, oh, she's very naughty. And my father said, all kids are naughty. So my father stood up against, him and stood up for me. And that is the reason why I really admire him so much. Although my father was also under his spell, because he was a very close family member. So he used to keep coming to our house. Maybe when I was growing up, this question was put up by my father when I had grown up considerably, like I was in my teens. So he was hearing a lot of negative things or negative ranting about me from this man. I could never tell my father till his last breath that this friend of yours, this family friend, had molested me as a child. Because even during his final days, he was telling me that he lost a lot of money and a lot of failures in his life happened because of the same man. So you can imagine, guys, this spiritual image or ritualistic image that people carry, I'm against it. And I would never carry it. I want to be a normal person. I want to live like a householder. And I want to wear all my good dresses. And I want to be like any other woman, any other girl. I don't want to dress up in a way until and unless I don't feel that it's good for me. If I feel like changing my clothes, if I feel like renouncing the world and living like a sannyasi or a monk, then that's a different thing. But at this point in time, I'm a householder and I live in a metro city. So please do not question my clothing or my hairstyle or anything that I do, and then still listen to my content. Don't listen to my content. And my advice to you is, you're not a twin flame if you're doing that. And guys and girls, say you're listening to this and you agree with me, okay? You resonate with me because maybe you have also gone through this. Maybe you were going to a church or you were going to some religious place where you knew people who were very religious on the outside, okay, but very evil from the inside. Maybe because of that, you also got away from God. You started thinking that I'm not going to follow God, because if these type of people follow God and if these type of people believe in God, then God save me from this type of godliness, So a very, very important point, okay, this type of ritualistic, extreme religiousness or addiction to religious practices or, using religious practices as a tool, as a weapon to call yourself moralistic human being. Most of these people don't even know why these rituals are being performed. They have no idea about the rituals. They don't know the meaning behind the rituals. They are just going to the temple or the church or the mosque or anywhere because they feel that by doing this, they are going to come across as kind-hearted, compassionate, godly people. Okay? But sorry, as a twin flame, you need to bust them. You need to really bust them in their faces and you need to tell them that you are not a spiritual person, just the way I'm doing it right now. So I feel that this is my duty. Maybe I'm going through this experience for a reason. Maybe I always go through these experiences because I'm supposed to channel messages to you, you know. So if you are going through this problem, you know, people judging you, like somebody was literally asking me the other day on Instagram, oh, why would you color your hair? It was so nice as black and this and that. Well, it's my choice. I love to do it. I enjoy doing it. This is not the first time I'm coloring my hair. Maybe you know me now. You got to know me now from past 2 years or 3 years because I'm sharing things on YouTube or wherever, you know, online. You don't know my life, you know. You don't know me. It's my choice. Let me do. I'm not going to your house. I'm not knocking at your door and asking you, why do you color your hair black? Why do you hide your grays? Or why do you dress up in a certain way? Or why do you talk in a certain way? In fact, I'm here to provide you as much help and information that I can. Okay? So don't judge people on their choices until and unless it's an unhealthy choice. Like I said, you know, somebody called me up who really cares for me and he said that I hope this is not going to spoil your hair. I hope this is not going to damage your hair. And that I loved because I could see that this person really cares for me. This person is like, and then I said, no, it's definitely not going to do that because I take care of my hair a lot and I do this and I do that, blah, blah, blah. And I do a lot of exercising. I eat a lot of healthy food. So don't worry. So he's like, okay, fine. Then do as much as you want to do, you know. So that's a different thing. Okay. Then I don't understand this thing about the pouting, you know. It was really like strange, you know. It was really the strangest thing. Maybe because some people think that some of these things have come from the, you know, Western culture. So they should be judged. Like a lot of people do judge how the Western people live their life and this and that. But they have no problem when they use the Western inventions. They have no problem when they use the Western things for their own good, you know, when they need it. So it's a very selfish approach, okay? And then, yes, of course, this cheap mentality of looking at everything with the eyes of perversion and sexualization. So I'm going to block people like this. I don't want these people around me, okay? Then another interesting thing that I want to share over here is that people don't know about diversity, okay? Like in America only, you have, or UK, you have people, all types of people. You know, this whole thing of racism, this whole thing of bullying, why did it happen? Because some people started thinking, they were so overprivileged, they started thinking that because we have a certain skin color, or because we have a certain lifestyle, or because our forefathers have been living here for last 100 years or 200 years, these other people, they don't belong here. Okay, so they would look at the blacks, or they would look at the immigrants, or they would look at anybody, you know, from any other part of the world as a threat or as somebody who should not be here. And then it's one thing to, you know, look at them like they don't belong here. But then it's another thing to literally want them to get out. Like as much as you want to run a house, as much as you want to get bread and butter in your house, as much as you want to raise your children, they also want to do that. And how do you know that you are the original people, you are the aboriginals? Maybe they were here before you and you threw them out and then now they are back there again. So these are all stupid things according to me. Now in India also, and this is to answer this stupid person who wrote to me like this, that in India also we have all types of people, right from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, and right from the eastern part of India to the western part of India, we have different types of people with different hair colors, skin color, body types, okay? Lord Sri Ram itself, he was bluish in color. He had a bluish color and he had golden hair. Okay, a lot of people have said that. If you go to Kashmir or if you go to the mountain areas, then many people, they have fair complexion and light hair. You know, in my own family, I have cousins who have light hair and fair skin. And in my own family, I have cousins who are very dark in color. And you know, this whole thing of racism and all, it's confusing to me because my grandmother and I think other people's grandparents or parents also, they used to call us by these nicknames which are very close to our skin color. So if somebody is dark in complexion, they would call him lovingly Kalu, Like I have a black dog and I call him Kalu, sometimes I just cutely call him Kalu. It's nothing to do with color or skin. Or we have a child in our house who has like gray eyes or greenish eyes. So we call her, just like a cute way. Sometimes we pull her leg also like that. We say that she's a foreigner, because she has green eyes. Then we have another cousin who's really fat. We have some cousins, and I fell in that category, who was extremely skinny. So we had all those nicknames, and literally the way we looked, our parents would call us like that on certain occasions and days. And we ourselves also, when we fight or when we are in loving zones, we used to use these nicknames, that are very close to your physical features, but it has got nothing to do that you're not acceptable. But why did this enter our system or our DNA system? Because this whole thing of superiority and inferiority complex came into the existence during the colonization. Okay, so it has nothing to do with people who live in UK right now. These are the people who form these policies. It is actually against those people who form these type of authorities, who create these differences, who say that somebody is a slave and somebody is not based on their skin color. Okay, so right from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, even in India and say United States of America or United Kingdoms or Australia, you have people with different skin colors. In the mountain areas, they look different. In South India, people look very different because they come from the Dravidian descent. In the northern part of India, they come from the Aryan race, Then the Eastern people, Eastern people have a lot of Oriental features, like my family only, because we have half Eastern and half North Indian. So we have some family members who have Oriental features. So what? And then even Lord Sri Krishna, he was dark in complexion. So if somebody is making fun of you because you're dark in complexion, you can tell that Sri Krishna was also dark in complexion. Sri Ram was bluish in complexion. And Shiva, obviously, we know. And all the goddesses, they are so different and so unique. So in the same land, we have different colors, caste, creeds, and religious beliefs. Okay. So the problem is that stop calling yourself so and so. If you are in a twin flame journey, if you really are working on your ascension, stop saying that I am an Indian or I'm an American. Start saying I'm a human being. Okay, I'm a human being. Don't teach people hatred. Don't teach me hatred, at least. Don't come to my channel and teach me hatred. And don't teach hatred to other people. And if you are just like me, you get angry about these subjects, then you come across anyone who's trying to teach you hatred and diversity is bad, or tell them on their face, like don't teach me hatred. I'm not gonna hate on you or anybody else because of whatever reason. Until and unless you're crossing your boundary and you're crossing your limits and you're bullying me or you're trying to tell me certain things that I don't believe in, just back off, just go away. You're not invited over here. You're unwelcomed over here. That is one important point. Now, another important point which I touched upon is about this spiritual image that some people carry, or they create these cults, and twin flames usually get caught up in these cults. And I know about these cults very well because I have met a lot of people who have their own cult. What is the meaning of a cult? Cult means that there are people who run this cult and they become the gods and goddesses or the source of your energy. They don't believe in God. They don't believe in higher power. They don't believe in supreme energy. They don't think that there is a higher guru. They think that they are the main guru and they are everything, which is not true. Why do you think Guru Nanak Dev Ji, who was a guru, used to keep saying Vahe Guru, Vahe Guru, Vahe Guru? Because he said that there is the highest guru. And Vah means like wow. Wow Guru, wow Guru, wow Guru. That was his way of, in exclamation, in awe and wonder, he used to say Vahe Guru. Because earth is a guru, life is a guru, masters are these gurus, they give us everything. Okay, and there are people who cannot differentiate between the right type of teacher or right type of guide and someone who's fake. Like in India, And I'm sure in the West also, we have all these people who run cults, and they become some kind of spiritual teachers, and they start doing a lot of harm to your head, So when you can't differentiate between them, you're genuinely going to follow someone who has a very spiritualistic or a ritualistic or a religious image. You're going to be like, wow, this person has to be a teacher, because you know what? They wear a gown, they wear a long white gown or an orange gown, or they have certain type of hairstyle. They are the shaven heads, or they are the dreadlocks, the one with the dreadlocks. Like Shiva had dreadlocks because he liked dreadlocks. My teacher was shaven head because he wanted to be that. It was not because they are maintaining an image, okay? But if you actually hang out with them, if you would have hung out with my teacher, my guru, you would have seen how amazing he was as a person. Like, I have never met any other human being on a planet like him, any live human being like him. He never appeared on the mainstream media. Like, so many things he did which I look at, and the messages that he sends to me are just so perfect, so perfect with the timing, with the whole community's growth. Even now, even though he passed over many years ago, but he's still looking after me, he's still taking care of me. That is a teacher, that is a guru, okay? And there is a difference because in English language is very limited in terms of words. Sometimes I feel that there are some very good words also in English language, but there are some very limiting words also. Like, teacher can be any teacher, coach can be any coach, therapist can be any therapist, but guru is a guru. So I keep telling people that I am not a guru, okay? If you're thinking I am a guru and you're coming to my channel because you found a guru, then sorry to say I'm not, okay? The higher guru, the higher masters, you please go and seek them if you can. Otherwise, you follow Ram and Sita, because according to me, they are our twin flame gurus. Okay, you study about their life and you surrender to them. You surrender to the guru. Teacher, a therapist, a coach, and a content creator is just like you. Okay. Don't put me on a pedestal, guys. Please don't put me on a pedestal, and don't have all these expectations from me that I cannot color my hair blonde just because you think that a teacher should not color their hair blonde. Get lost if you have that type of thinking, okay? Yes, I am very angry because I keep coming across these type of comments here and there, and today I decided to, bring it all together and give it out for people who would resonate with me, okay? And if you don't resonate with me, I'm sorry, I can't help it. But I keep coming across these comments where somebody is telling me, can you speak a bit slow and soft? People write these things. Can you speak a bit soft and slow? Or can you just raise the volume a bit? Or can you just be like this or be like that? And I'm like, excuse me? Sorry? What are you thinking? You are a twin flame. You are supposed to be above these stupid things. Real spirituality is not about image. It has got nothing to do with image. Okay? So, you are only spiritual if you are not stuck with the image or identity. Okay? If you are stuck with the image and identity, you still have a big ego, you still need to work on your ego, and you still have lot of things, like a person should be like this, maybe you're doing this in your love life too, and that's why you're not able to attract, the right type of partner. Maybe. And maybe you're doing it without any knowledge. Maybe you're not malignant. There are some people who are not malignant. Like, when we are unhealed, when we have a lot of trauma-based energies, we do these things because these things are passed on to us from generation to generation, Like, again, in India, there is some fascination for fair skin. Like, fair skin means like, wow, This division that we have, this division was actually created by the reptilians so that the actual knowledge could never reach to people, it would stay stuck. And that time has actually changed. Now we know that this information that we have, this twin flame information or the metaphysics information, this is the exact accurate information that we need to advance. But then some people are going to act like, because they belong to this land or because they know this before someone else, they are superior and the others are inferior. But I don't think so. I think we all belong to the same land, actually. We all belong to Mother Earth. And this divide can actually confuse people, just the way the abuses and the triggers, the images have confused us and has stopped us in the past. So it's a very good thing, I think. Honestly, if, in the past, I have been through dark nights where all these triggers and all these negative projections. But now I feel that it's really good that I was raised in a family which sent me to English medium schools and colleges. And so I know what happens over there. And I also study the metaphysics at home. And to be honest, yes, I was introduced to Mahabharata, Ramayana, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, and most importantly, my master, because of the family that I'm born in. If I was born in some other family, I don't know what would have happened, but maybe this is the hukum, okay? This is how God has designed my life, and this is how God has designed your life. All of us, we are one big happy family, and you have a certain vibration, you have a certain energy. Every single person out there, if some of the people who are on this channel, if you would come to me, or if I would meet you sometime, then it would be really nice to hang out, and have some good time and, talk about life. It would be very nice vibration. But then there is a reason why we are all placed in different countries, different nations, different cities, different blocks. Because God always puts his people in different places. And again, when I say God, I'm not talking about a man or a woman. I'm not talking about God in that sense. I'm talking about source, like the source of energy, source of our power, source of our love. They have placed us as a soul system, because this soul system is a very integrate system. It is a very extremely high form of science that you don't understand until and unless you do very deep inner work. So a lot of people have been placed in different places, different countries, different locations, because they emanate vibes, and your vibes have to be very strong, as against to these type of people who act like a block. Okay, they are living in dark ages, and they will continue to live in dark ages, and they will still follow the rituals. They will still pray to God, play with God, and pray to God, and they will do all of those things. They will also read the religious books. They will also go to their places of worship, but inside they are living in darkness, because they don't understand what God really wants, what source really wants. So I really want to bless them. Like, I really want to wish them. I remember once someone had written to me that, you're saying all these things about me, but at the end you're saying God bless you and give you strength. That's because reading their energy, when you read a certain person's energy, you know that they have all this negativity inside of them, and they have crossed your path for a reason, because you can't, you're not going to be that person who will take their bullshit. You have to tell them that what you are doing is nonsense, it's unacceptable, it's inhuman, okay? But I really wish and I really pray to God, without any, anger right now, that you definitely should go through the lessons. And when you go through the lessons, you should have the courage to go through the lessons, because the lesson is not going to be an easy one. If somebody has a very strong ego and somebody has been raised in strong narcissistic backgrounds, patterns, then it's not an easy journey to heal. Healing itself initially is not easy, okay? Initially, it's always painful, but once you get out of it, then you understand that yes, the other person or wherever, once I was in a place like that too. So, those people who are doing inner work genuinely, and those people who are committed, that's all that matters. That is the relationship we form with those people, okay? It doesn't matter who has grey color, blue color, pink color hair, brown color hair, black color hair. It's their head. They can decide to do whatever thing. Nobody is paying nobody's bills, okay? Some people think that, so just because we are giving you views and just because we are your audience, you need to do this, you need to do that. Well, who are we to decide, If we follow the hukum of God, if we surrender, then we are just based out of, or we are living our lives out of inspired action. And I'm not saying that every day is a bed of roses. There are difficulties every single day. But inner work makes it fun, and inner work makes you accept it, that okay, this is the command, okay? And you don't have to feel like a servant or like a slave when you surrender, because surrendering is not like, surrendering means that you have faith. Surrendering means that you know that you are in the right hands. you know that whatever is happening to you, even if it's bad right now, it seems to be very bad, very painful, but definitely it has a bigger purpose in the future. So all the people who judge other people for their skin color, for their hair color, for their clothes or everything, I want to tell them that, there are children who are getting raped. There are children who are getting abused, sexually abused. There are women who are going through a lot of humiliation just because they are women. There are animals who are suffering right now. The world is going through a lot of problems. And the time that we are living in, there are maximum people with mental health issues. Okay? We don't need so many things right now. What we need is therapy. What we need is healing, because this is the generation, or you can say this is the time, these last 50 years, 100 years, and obviously when somebody is mentally sick, they pass it on. It's like a disease that gets passed on, and mentally sick always does not mean that someone is acting crazy or someone is a psycho killer. Mental health it germinates, it happens because there is no spiritual food. Okay, that's why these pills and these books and these studies on psychology and this and that, psychiatry, it's not helping people. It's making their condition worse. 20 years back, the sleeping pills were very popular. People could not sleep, so they would go to a psychiatrist and they would take a few pills, and they would be completely addicted and hooked on to those pills. First, they would start with one pill, then they would start taking two, because they really want the sound sleep. But then they would stop dreaming, or they would not have control on their lives. They would just sleep, and when they go to sleep, they don't know what's happening. Normally when we sleep and there's a noise or there's something, we wake up, don't we? Or there's a baby crying, we get to know. But when you are on these pills, you don't know what's happening to you. Okay? Then there are people who are taking mild tranquilizers, and I know a lot of people who've told me that I've been on anxiety pills, or I've been on some depression pills and this and that. So this is a generation where you have maximum psychiatric patients. Maximum people are unwell, unhealthy, they are in pain. Okay? But these sicknesses, they are so subtle and they are so, into somebody's system that they have been normalized. It's normal to have a blood pressure problem. It's normal to have heart problems. It's normal somebody gets cancer. Okay, many people are getting cancer. It's normal for all these issues, all these mental issues and physical issues to be okay. That is the thing that we need to work on. It's not normal, okay? It's not normal to suffer unnecessarily and be miserable unnecessarily, be anxious all the time, be depressed all the time. It's not normal. What's normal is to accept that yes, there is misery. And the moral of the story is that no matter who says what about you, if you know that you're doing your thing, if you know that you do what you love, then don't listen to them. Let them watch themselves, Let them watch. Tell them that don't focus on me so much, okay? Focus on yourself. If something about me is bothering you so much, then you don't have to be here. You don't have to be with me. You can go away, you can leave me alone, and I'll do my things. And you live your life, So that's the moral of the story. And thank you so much for being here with me. And thank you so much for trying your level best to be yourself, to do what you love, and to spread the vibes no matter where you are. Because you know what? Vibration is the actual address, not the location. So one love and peace out.